in accordance with the Governor's Emergency Order number 12 pursuant to Executive Order 2020-4, the public body is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the Governor's Emergency Order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, I am confirming that we are A, providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. We are utilizing Zoom through the city's IT department for this electronic meeting. All members of the Board of Assessors have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through this platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen into this meeting through dialing the following number: 929-205-6099. Once again, that number is 929-205-6099, and using the meeting ID number 647-473-0083. Once again, that number is 647-473-0083, and password of 229644. Once again, the password is 229644. The public may also view this meeting on Comcast Channel 16. B, providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information for accessing the meeting through public postings. Instructions have also been provided on the City of Nashua's website at nashuanewhampshire.gov and publicly noticed at City Hall and the National Public Library. C, providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anybody has a problem accessing the meeting via phone or channel 16, please call 603-821-2049. Once again, that number is 603-821-2049, and they will help you connect. D, adjourning the meeting if the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting via the methods mentioned above, the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, the reason they are not able to attend the meeting in person, please also state whether there is anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. So at this time, I will pause to call the roll. Mr. Early.
This is Robert Early, member of the Board of Assessors. I am following the Governor's emergency order and joining this meeting remotely from my home. There is no one here in the room with me.
Mr. Bergeron.
This is Paul Bergeron, member of the Board of Assessors. I'm following the Governor's emergency order and participating in the meeting remotely. I'm calling from home and no one is present with me.
And I'm Daniel Hansberry, member of the Board of Assessors. I'm also following the Governor's order, and I am at home and there is no one in the room with me. Please direct all testimony to this board and not to anyone in the audience. If you have questions, they are to be directed to the board and we will do our best to get them answered. When directing testimony to this board, please announce your name clearly for the record. Ms. Brown, are there any changes to today's agenda?
There are no changes.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions before we begin? Seeing none, we will start. Okay, there is one order of business for today's special meeting, and that is addressing the Southern New Hampshire medical exemption. Is there a motion to grant a charitable exemption in the amount of $33,132,400 for the property located at 8 Prospect Street, which is owned by Southern New Hampshire Medical Center / Foundation Medical Partners?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, is there a discussion?
Mr. Chairman, just to reiterate, this is just for the hospital building itself, correct?
Right. It's represents 98% of the value of the property because there are some medical practices located within the facility.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions or comments?
No.
All right, I will call the roll. Mr. Early?
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron?
Yes.
Mr. Hansberry, yes, the exemption is granted. At this time, we will have our public comment period. I would remind members of the public that it is a 5-minute comment period per person. So once again, it's 5 minutes per person. Is there anyone who has signed up to speak or called in to speak?
Yes.
Would you please identify yourself and state your address for the record?
Lori Ortolano,
And your address, please, Ms. Ortolano?
41 Berkeley Street.
Thank you. Go right ahead.
I think somebody else was trying to speak in front of me. My phone was acting funny, so there might be somebody else as well, Dan, or Chairman Hansberry. Yes, a couple questions on this exemption. Is there any documentation that the public can see that will show why it's getting the exemption at the hospital? And I did put in a right to know for settlement agreements on this. There was a suit back in 2009, and I believe it expired, the agreement on this property, in 2018. It was extended last year. So, and I think the buildings were probably getting exemptions, but now it's just the hospital. But I'd like to try to understand why it is receiving, I think this is an A9, a charitable exemption. And then also I put in a right to know, but I'd like to understand, does St. Joseph's Hospital as a Catholic hospital receive the same exemption? And is there a way for the public to understand this, or was all of this done in non-public and the reason for the exemption can't be understood by the public? I'm just trying to figure it out.
Okay. To answer that question, St. Joseph's does receive the same exemption.
Okay, that's good to know. Great, and then I've got my right to know in, so I'll wait and see what the city responds with. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there somebody else who's in line to speak?
No, sir, I do not see anyone.
Okay. Are there comments by board members?
No?
No, I don't have any.
Okay, there's no need for a non-public session. Is there anything else that the administration needs to bring before us?
No, sir.
All right. Okay, so is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
And I will call the roll. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron,
Yes.
Mr. Hansberry, yes. Meeting is adjourned at 1:38 p.m. Thank you, everyone.